Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. It's December 26, 2023. I received an email from a targeted female friend, and she was kind enough to draft a letter so that you don't have to, with regard to Section 702, the renewal of FISA. Congress, it's Section 3351. Abolishing FISA or changing it. So I'm going to read the letter that she created, and you can leave your comments down below, and please hit the thumbs up to get the message out there. I will cut and paste as much as I can into the description. This is a 2-page letter, so I'm not sure how much of it will fit. You can always email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com if you want a copy of this. So I'm going to read the letter, and she said, send it to Congress, send it to your senators, your mayors, send it to everybody, particularly Congress. And I know for a fact that Senator Rand Paul, who is a member of Congress, you can go to his website, and he has a form that you can complete, and you can type as much as you want in there, so you can actually cut and paste this entire letter in there and send it to him on his website. So I'm going to read the letter for you guys. Targeting under Section 702 is said to be focused only on specific foreigners who are assessed to have foreign intelligence information. Don't believe this lie. There are roughly 8 million U.S. citizens presently under warrantless surveillance who do not in any way whatsoever meet the FISA standard of being agents of a foreign power. The criteria for selecting the targeted individuals appears to be the need to protect moneyed special interests and to conceal elitists' crimes by neutralizing, quote-unquote, anyone who exposes them. Having transitioned from a constitutional probable cause standard to an unconstitutional just trust us, quote-unquote, standard, has resulted in secret police state powers in which military-derived information operations are brought upon the lives of the targeted individuals, subjecting them to a never-ending onslaught of crimes in which warrantless 24/7 surveillance is used to profit from the destruction of every area of a targeted individual's life. Being in the crosshairs of a warrantless surveillance includes subjection to terror operations, torture through electronic weapons attacks, and parallel construction of fabricated, quote-unquote, evidence resulting in false imprisonment. The targeting of innocent Americans for political purposes first came to the light in the 1970s with the revelation of the Favorite Bureau of Investigation's infamous counterintelligence program, also known as COINTELPRO. The FBI was ordered to cease this program. Instead, it merely became more deeply hidden. Former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney refers to it today as COINTELPRO on steroids, as it has since been technologically upgraded to include attacks with military-grade electronic weapons and sophisticated neurotechnologies that turn the homes of targeted individuals into a house of horrors. Today's COINTELPRO is indeed far more sophisticated and far more enormous racketeering operation. It is a conglomerate of overlapping, compartmentalized subdivisions of judicial, military, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies that work in concert with each other and with private contractors to subject the targeted individuals to a never-ending onslaught of treasonous crimes defined under international law as genocide. Section 8 and C defines genocide as harm deliberately inflicted upon a selected group with the intent to destroy that group. Through the abuse of the Patriot Act and Section 702 FISA Amendment Act, Databases are filled to the brim with bogus profiles of the targeted individuals labeled as a quote-unquote national security risk, generating threat assessment and community notification lists. The corruption extends into state and local police who may or may not even be aware that it's a lie, along with a multitude of local citizen quote-unquote groups and teams and private businesses that are recruited to stalk and afflict the targeted individuals. As it had been in the East German Stasi, literally, security state, the American security state, quote-unquote, is thus supremely empowered and selectively oppress and ultimately annihilate a whole segment of society without the knowledge of the general public. Most importantly, we have no recourse. The quote-unquote secret police keep the secret police files that the public cannot access for quote-unquote national security reasons, enhanced by quote suspicious activity reports, the SAR reports, unquote, filed by criminals who are targeting the innocent for a cash reward. Oh yeah, like my neighbors reporting me for burning trash in my burn pit last year. The secret lawless state is then cloaked within the ostensibly lawful state known as a double government structure or deep state, which is virtually invisible to anyone not being targeted. So the general population, I'm just adding this general population, may be oblivious to the fact that there are millions of people being targeted around them, that are being abused, that are being tortured, that are being slandered, that are being asset stripped. Their pets are being murdered. Psychological operations are deployed to control the perceptions on the local level, and the fusion centers stand ready to alert the sheriff when it's time to round us up and move us into FEMA camps, where there's no constitutional rights and we may be indefinitely detained or executed by decree. This is the same formula that has been perpetrated worldwide against dissidents during transitions to police-state powers, especially in countries where genocides have occurred. 18 targeted individuals have recently filed a $1.3 billion lawsuit against 3-letter agencies perpetuating these crimes of treason. How many other groups are suing these very same defendants for gazillion other treasonous crimes? We can't afford to be naive about the monstrosity, this huge criminal apparatus amassed by this thoroughly evil criminals at the top of these agencies who should be hanged in public square. Please reject Section 3351 FISA Reform and Reauthorization Act of 2023. Hear the plea of the millions of innocent Americans who soak their pillows with tears every night, who are unable to get themselves out of the TSDB, the screening database, once FISA rubber stamps the surveillance request and their lives are turned into a living hell. Thank you for taking the time to consider this. And I will add that this is a revenge for hire program. And I made a point of stating that in a recent video that I have reason to believe that there are several people that nominated my name. And every one of them were committing crimes against me. They were stealing from me. They were committing crimes against me. And this is a way to discredit the victims. If you're powerful, if you piss somebody off, if they've got the money, like a criminal defense lawyer, you hire their law firm to get you a divorce that should take 6 months. 3 years later, you're not divorced and they financially raped you and then threatened to ruin your credit. Yeah, this is what goes on in our society today. You wonder why so many divorced women can't afford to feed their kids? Lawyers like that steal your money. Stole my daughter's bank account to pay for a divorce that should have lasted 6 months. Drags it out 3 years and I still don't have a divorce. And I find out that he kept postponing it with the judge. I found out from the law clerk that no, it wasn't the judge postponing it. It was the law. It was your lawyer. Your lawyer's the one that kept postponing it. Of course, when I confronted him about it, he had a hissy fit on the phone. I ended up hanging up on him and reporting him to the ethics committee. Of course, that didn't go over very well. And then, of course, there's the feral cat cartel. I'm going to tell you, folks, there's no such thing as a community cat. If there's a cat walking around outside and you're feeding it, and it keeps coming to your house, it's now your cat. The community's not feeding the animals. The community could care less about the feral cats out there. There's usually 1 or 2 people feeding them, and it becomes their responsibility. It's just a way for these big, massive nonprofits that also apply for the same disgusting grants that local governments get to target regular people like you and I. It's just a way to pass the buck. When there are stray animals out there and you're feeding them, and then they're calling them community animals, well, what that means is that anybody can come and take that animal and you've got no recourse, even though you've been caring for it for years maybe. Because these big groups will say, oh no, it's a community cat. It's a community dog. Well, no, we don't have community dogs because that's against the law. Dogs have to be licensed and leashed and rabiesed and identified and wear collars and tags. But yeah, these same groups of people, there are a lot of nasty, jealous people out there. And sometimes you don't even know the extent of what they're doing is so bad. You just kind of have a hint that something's not right. You're kind of onto something, but you're just going about your business. But these people are terrified that you will find out more, and they will shut you down before you even have a chance to find out how bad they really are. So I'm going to go back up to this letter, and I appreciate Camille. Thank you so much for this letter. Targeting under Section 702 is said to be focused only on specific foreigners who are assessed to have foreign intelligence information. But don't believe this lie, people. Wake up. There are roughly 8 million U.S. citizens presently under warrantless surveillance who do not in any way whatsoever meet the FISA standard of being agents of a foreign power. And I'm going to add here that the way they get around this is, and this is easy, guys, we're on the World Wide Web, okay? I have a YouTube channel, right? I know for a fact that some of the people that comment under some of my videos are not from the United States. Some are from the UK, Australia, all over the world. And then they'll see, well, you have a connection. You have a connection with somebody who lives in another country. Or what about if you dated somebody whose family is from another country? You know, my grandparents were not born here in the United States. They immigrated here and ended up at Ellis Island, the way people used to do it, legally. So if you have a connection, if you know somebody who lives in another country, they're going to place you on this list for FISA. They're going to say that you may have some foreign intelligence information because you have a friend in Australia you have a friend in the UK. Oh, you watch some videos and those people are in Africa. Right? That's how they get around this. And having transitioned from a constitutional probable cause standard to an unconstitutional just trust us standard has resulted in a secret police state powers in which the military-derived information operations are brought upon the lives of targeted individuals, subjecting them to never-ending onslaught of crimes, which is a warrantless 24-hour surveillance. And I'm going to tell you something about this, folks, because Targeted Friends, who lives in Texas, has performed extensive research on the surveillance technology. And I am not talking about how they target you at night. I'm not talking about the radio frequencies. I'm not talking about the microwaves. I'm not talking about the directed energy weapons, okay? That's a whole nother shebang, ballpark. The 24-hour surveillance technology will kill you faster than those nightly directed energy weapons, because it is non-stop 24/7. All over your house, you are bathed in the technology 24/7. And not only are you bathed in it, but his research, wirelesswatchblog.org, his research, he performed research on the people that are doing this to us, the police. And guess what, folks? The police are bathed in this technology too. And the guys are coming down with testicular cancer because they carry around with them those laptops, those surveillance things in their vehicles, on their laps. And they are bathed in the technology too. Just the way, you know, like I watch these videos on the corrupt cops and stuff, and from what I have read is that when the police tase somebody, some of those particulates or whatever, they kind of backfire. And please don't, I mean, you can correct me. I haven't done the research. I just watch the videos and hear what other people are saying. That some of that technology comes back to them. They're not safe from it. So all of this 24/7 surveillance on targeted people, and of course it's happening all over the place, but it affects the people who are performing the surveillance also. They just don't get it. They think that they're doing something wonderful watching us. But the people that are watching us are subjected to a lot of the same technology. And it's harmful. It causes cancer in otherwise healthy people. It's not normal to be surveilled 24/7 with wireless technology. Why are trees burning from the inside out? How is it possible? It is soaking wet outside. It's been raining on and off all day. Yesterday, it's soaking wet, like it's squishy, squishy wet outside. It's like a sponge, okay? I'm like walking on a filthy, dirty, muddy sponge because they have targeted my grass. How is it possible that I have burn marks all over the grass? Oh, that's right. I told you guys about the helicopter and small airplane that was over my house a couple of days ago. As soon as I woke up, they fleeted out. They left. And then when I walked outside, I saw that they did a lot more of my property. They burned it. Probably with a laser. This is what they do to innocent people. With your tax dollars. Just because somebody didn't like you, somebody pissed you off, you fired your lawyer for financially raping you and never divorcing you. Is that a crime? How is firing somebody a crime? I should have had a refund of $35,000 from that piece of crap. But instead I get placed on a list? Get threats from him? Never get a divorce? Have to hire somebody else, another retainer? Another 6-9 months? And that's okay? This is what happens in society? I'm not the only one this happens to. You think I'm the only person who went through a divorce from hell that had this happen to? This is an all-out war against women in this country. And it's got to stop. But right now I'm like preaching to the choir. So anyway, folks, thank you for listening. I will post as much of this letter in the description section. I will attempt to cut and paste it into the comment section, but it's 2 pages long. You can always email me and I could send it through an email. You can just cut and paste it. Maybe you want to change a couple of words or whatever. You can cut and paste it into an email to your representatives, to Congress, to Rand Paul. They're going to be deciding on this soon, by the end of this year, by the 31st, the 1st. And there are a lot of people against it. A lot of people against it. But you know how that works. Sometimes people don't want somebody in office, right? Sometimes they don't want somebody in taking office. They've got the main vote. They've got all the people behind them, but then some loser gets in. Paid under the table. Just like targeted people. Many of you were placed in this program under the table bribes. Somebody with the money who can do it. Somebody with the money who can pay somebody off. Because they're narcissistic, psychopathic, want to get even with somebody for reporting them. Oh well. This is where our country's going, folks. But I'm going to sign off for now. Hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to bring you something more uplifting, but this is very serious. And the general population is not aware of this. That they can have their child placed in this program. They can have a family member or friends placed in this program. For no reason. Just because somebody doesn't like you. They're married to a cop. They have enough money to pay somebody. Or all they have to do is get a bunch of people together to report you. And it's like, okay, we got one more person on the list to make some money off of. So I'm going to end it here, folks. I'll upload this video. I look forward to your questions and comments. Oh, and I just wanted to say that I posted 2 of the same video. What happened was after I uploaded the video, I was walking on a county road and with the tires, skid marks and stuff. After I uploaded it, it was turned. And that's not the way I recorded it. So I left that one there, and then I uploaded another one that I turned so that you can actually look like you're walking down the road rather than it being like upside down. So I didn't want you to get confused about that. I also posted a video on the tarot. Before I uploaded it, it was a Creative Commons so that I would be able to post it without any kind of copyright issue. They had some music in there, like background music, no lyrics. I tried to remove it. I couldn't figure out how to remove it. But because they had Creative Commons, I figured, oh, it's okay. So then I get a note from YouTube that I have to share the monetization. No big deal. I have no problem sharing it with the person who has the background music on one portion. Like a small portion of the video, actually I could edit it out. Then after it was uploaded, it says it's not monetized at all because the music person has the copyright. It says that you could use it, but you can't monetize it. So I posted it anyway because it's just a cute little video about the tarot cards and stuff. And they developed their own tarot cards that are so adorable, very cute, very colorful. And I really like the way they explained it. It was very short. But I kept it up there. It's not being monetized at all. But, you know, if you're interested in it, you know, you could share it and stuff. It really is cute if somebody's interested to figure out what these cards are like. So I'm going to sign off for now, and I hope everybody is well.